I've always been a strong-willed person, very disciplined. If I put my mind to something, I stick to it. Basketball, it became that father figure that I never had.
Chris Wayne Jackson, better known as Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, born March 9th, 1969. Blackballed, a candidate with unquestioned talent in a specific field, but has done something unfavorable in the eyes of the powers that be in said field and has been encouraged not to be associated with. A definition straight from the Stunted Growth dictionary. Based on that definition and the science history of this player has shown, Abdul Rauf has no question been blackballed, blacklisted, and black socks with black Air Forces to match. However you want to explain what the NBA, along with the public at the time, has done to this guy's career, just know that he had everything it took not to have his stint only last 9 seasons. Phil Jackson once said that Rauf was the first Steph Curry and called his time in the NBA brilliant. A career in the NBA is just like any other job in the world in one way. They all have policies in place that make them sound as fair as possible, like everyone gets the same attention and opportunities to secure a position, when in reality, those are in place only to protect the business of the company. As far as the people in position to select its workers, human nature always, and I mean 100% of the time, kicks in, and a huge part of you being selected or not depends on if those people can see you fitting in with what they already have. Personality-wise, background, appearance, color, outside associations, and even things like religion are secretly, or should I say internally considered and decides your fate. Is it wrong? Yes, of course. But we can't be naive to say it isn't human nature. Doesn't mean it's right and doesn't mean the person deserves it. It's been 20 years since Abdul Rauf played in the NBA and almost 30 since he's played in one meaningful game. He was 26 years old when the Nuggets traded him to Sacramento for his career to quietly die. He was the team's leading scorer and assist man by far, but business, public perception, and ignorant fans that'll do anything to you, from name calling, booing, physical assault, to even burning your home down in fear of your beliefs. He was in his prime, and for reasons I will explain, he was pushed out of the NBA, just like we see more recently in what's happening to Colin Kaepernick. It's a sad but true story that may not even be the last time it happens. Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get it, man.
I feel that he should stand up. I mean, he's in America. He gets paid by an American company. So
this is Denver, Colorado. I mean, we need to stand up for our national anthem.
Born Chris Jackson in Gulfport, Mississippi, things were not at all easy. With his father unknown at the time, Jackson depended on his mother for daily necessities and emotionally when dealing with a condition called Tourette syndrome that caused him to tick uncontrollably at times and even make barking noises, to which the kids in his environment found humorous. This troubled Chris, as it would any other child being laughed at and treated as if something was wrong with you. This made him quiet and shy as a kid before he channeled that weakness and made it his #1 strength that is arguably the reason he even made it to the heights in his craft that he did. His condition made him work tirelessly on his game in order to, if not gain the respect of the other kids, dominate you enough that he could have something to rebuttal your jokes on him. Oh, I was shaking like pork chops and breadcrumbs? Well, you wasn't saying that when I was dropping 50 on you and hit the game winner in your face. It's obvious I have a disorder that will never naturally make me the most popular kid, but I have the talent, the work ethic, and will be so good that one day that won't matter. So he stayed in the gym, and after every practice, he'd prepare to make 10 shots in a row, game speed. Sounds easy? Well, his had to go all net or it's back to zero. This would take hours sometimes, but he never left the gym until it was completed, and to this he says he owes his amazing shooting, high motor, and confidence. Stunt number 1, you can stand or you can leave. Words that were never uttered by David Stern, any coach, GM, or team owner, but was made clear to Rauf in the prime of his NBA career.
He didn't just start doing it. I mean, he's been a Muslim for 3 years, and I've seen him not honor the national anthem for 2 years, so I don't know how they evolved around, suspending him when they did.
Before that, as Chris Jackson, he was a sought-after high school player who didn't even play organized ball until entering high school. But when he finally did, stepped in and was a prodigy in his state. By his senior year, he had won Mr. Basketball in Mississippi twice and McDonald's All-American and was averaging 30 points and 5 assists a game. His mother had other schools in mind, but Jackson saw something in LSU, which was an opening for him to come in and get the keys to the program from day one. It's reported that his mother refused to sign his letter of intent to commit to LSU, being in disagreement with her son. Being the strong-minded person he was and is, the decision was set in stone, and he went on to LSU, where he became a star literally from day one. He was second in the nation in scoring at 30 points a game. That's wild. Only Hank Gathers averaged more that season at 32. Hank was a fourth-year junior, and Chris Jackson had just went to prom 6 months ago. He added 4 assists and shot 38% from 3, shooting almost 7 a game. As a sophomore, with the addition of Stanley Roberts and some dude named Shaquille O'Neal, you could say he fell off, only averaging 28 points and shooting 91% from the foul line. He has the record for scoring as a freshman with 53 and broke that by dropping 55 later in the season. 2 50-point games as a freshman. Let that sink in and imagine it done today. He was the SEC Player of the Year and first-team All-American in back-to-back years. As an individual, I dare you to name a guy that had a better 2-year run. He left after his sophomore year and was the 3rd pick in the draft by the Denver Nuggets, to where he made second-team All-Rookie at 14 points and 3 assists, primarily off the bench behind Michael Adams, who was doing amazing things. By his 6th season, 95-96, Jackson, who had already converted to Islam, grew tired of listening to the national anthem and seeing the American flag flew before every game when he saw it as a symbol of, quote, oppression and tyranny. In protest, he would sit for the anthem and later bow his head in prayer, refusing to listen or take in sight of the flag. This caused major controversy, and with him being one of, if not the first NBA athlete to take such a stance, he took arrows from every direction. The league, fans, and even fellow basketball players, some of the same faith as him.
Islamic teachings is you worship none but God, but you respect the flag. You respect the, the honor of America.
In March of '96, the NBA suspended Mark for not standing by predating a rule that said all players must pay attention and stand for the singing of the national anthem. This suspension cost him over $30,000 and lost time on the floor. It also put a black target on his back and would be the last season he'd play as a starter and potential all-star like he was, averaging almost 20 points a game, 7 assists, league-leading 93% from the foul line, and 39% from 3. He also had a game of 30 and 20 that season, along with a 51-point game for the former most improved player.
Muslims have different beliefs and they have different anthems. I mean, and you just have to respect that.
Every game he played in since taking the stance was highly scrutinized, and Denver fans all but physically pushed the team to trade their star point guard, to which they did after the season, to Sacramento for a guy whose name I can't pronounce, never heard of, and a 2nd-round pick.
When I got traded to Sacramento, they didn't play me much the first year. And the 2nd year, they played me even less.
He'd played 2 more seasons before retiring in 1998 from the NBA to go overseas where he would be more accepted.
In a lot of games, I didn't even see the court, did not play. They had DNP, did not play because of coach's decision. And never have I really gotten those.
And that was that. The NBA lost one of its brightest young stars that could have been what any point guard you want to put in that blank was. that had a game that could translate any era, but his beliefs were too different, too outspoken, too close to the perceived enemy to have him represent a globally recognized sport like the NBA. Globally being the key word. Global, but there's one belief. Roll with it, or we have a plan for you. He returned to the league in 2000 and played 41 games for the Vancouver Grizzlies, yes, outside the US, as the only team the NBA would secretly allow to take him in. Sounds familiar? Stunt number 2, skip that. Stunt number 3, skip that. There were no other stunts in Mahmoud Abdul Rauf's growth, because from his position, he's shown he could do it all when a team believed in him, in the rough 90s at that. He was a great person, teammate by all accounts, and strong individual to had to go through what he had just to play the game he loved in the country he was born. He last played in the Big Three in 2018, where he shot 45% from 3. All in all, I don't even have to harp on the injustice this guy faced, all because of ignorance and an inability to accept people from all different walks of life. Almost just as the kids didn't accept him in his youth for his Tourette's. At this point, he says he has no regrets how his career turned out and that his faith means everything to him and nothing comes between he and his beliefs. I gotta respect that. Salute to him, utmost respect for you as a player and a man. I wish you nothing but the best going forward, but for this reason alone, his growth was stunted. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth, and I'm out.
America.
To not stand behind this young man, who was certainly standing on, for him, an Islamic principle, was so absurd.